What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video of my Ipswich Town Road to Glory career mode, episode number 26. And today we can wrap up the league season with a win against Stoke, Blackpool and Birmingham. As long as we win those, we will be at least 18 points ahead with our 2 games in hand, and surely the league is set for them. And now, obviously, we've got a good cup run going into the quarterfinals against Aston Villa in away, so it should be a little bit tough, but we are going to still rotate the side. I mean, I have thought about this, about putting my starting 11 in the pitch, but no, we are going to go with a heavily rotated side. Penny, I put him in centre mid as a left wing back position last episode just to see how he would do, just to rotate in that Newcastle game. He done really well. He scored at least a good couple of goals, I think. Yeah, he done really well, so we decided to put him at the centre mid position, and he's actually converted straight away, so that says quite a lot about him actually being a centre mid rather than a left wing back position. Can do some really good overall. He's quite quick. He's got good defensive stats for a centre mid as well. So he's just a good general overall well-rounded player. Has 2 goals within 8.5 minutes from Aston Villa and myself. That's 1-1. Can't really complain. Obviously, didn't start off too quickly, but we then brought it back to equalise nice and early on, as Lane has as much time in the world to finish off this shot, and defender couldn't chase us down at all. I think Aston Villa's keeper have had a howler in this game, and I'm surprised they didn't play Martinez in the quarterfinals, but they're just doing what we're doing. They're rotating their keepers and rotating a few of their players, so they do have quite a fair few starters, like Conclave's on there as well, and then Donker in the starting position as well. But Courtney Howes, he was probably a starting player in this season, but Olsen is definitely not a starting keeper, that is for sure. He's probably more a championship keeper, and as we're aware, our championship status is pretty much going into the Premier League, and it is pretty much set in stone now. So I think we weren't really tested on the keeper side, but going forward, we have been tested, but it's 3-1 now, so it is quite clear that we are the better side, and Chaplin looks to make it 4, and if that save doesn't show Premier League quality out of that keeper, then none of his other saves have done either. But going really well. 4-1 up against Aston Villa is pretty much signed, sealed, but it is yet to be delivered, and there's still quite a lot of time for Aston Villa to come back into this, and they do find a second in the 50th minute mark. At least 40 minutes left to go on the timer here, and now there's 20 minutes left to go, but Onshu on the ball here, gonna find a nice ball into Conclaves, and Conclaves, as he's got that star player, is just really good. He just dribbles the ball quite quickly, and then Dabber making a rash slide tackle, getting a red card, and Walton almost saving the penalty as Calvert-Lewin had made the move from Everton to Aston Villa. There's I could probably see that happening at some point, but I think he would probably leave Everton, as he might look to stay around. He's one of their own and has proven himself a little bit in the Premier League. Obviously not so much as of late. Obviously haven't really had the attacking options there for them, as Leon Bailey scores for Aston Villa and bringing it back to, that's bringing it back to 4-4 with 3 minutes left to go. At this point I was thinking, okay, don't choke this, we want to get into the semi-finals, we want to get out of the quarters, as Chaplin holds the ball, tries to lob a ball over into Daniel Lane. Obviously defender Diego Carlos tries to win the ball back, but Lane hits the post. Penny, what? I'm sorry Penny, you've been converted into a centre mid from a left wing back, and you go and do that. That is absolutely absolutely mental. Let's just have a look at this again. He's not a striker. He's a centre mid left wing back, and he's just done that against Aston Villa to put us through against Aston Villa. Absolute madness. 5-4. That is an absolute goal fest to kick us off, and as you'd probably noticed, all those highlights were literally goals, because nine goals took up a lot of the highlights. As we're going into our next game against Stoke City. Obviously they're playing the aforementioned 5-3-2 formation along with us, and we're not looking to make any changes in this lineup. We're going with the full strength. I say the full strength. I mean, Kamara's just that one weak link in the centre mid position, where, you know, hopefully going next season. I mean, Tom Davis, he's at Accrington and he's a free agent going into next season, and I'm just thinking, he's 79 rated. Do I go for him? But then looking at his stats and then looking at other players that I've seen, the other players are so much better. Even though they're like 76, they're more well-rounded. They've got the pace, they've got the pass, and they've got a bit of shooting, and Tom Davis doesn't really have any of that. He's just there, well-rounded. I mean, we're not going to buy him at all, even though he's a free agent. I mean, if it was a normal career mode save and I wasn't doing it for YouTube, then I would have probably gone in for him. As you know, I'm trying to keep it somewhat realistic, and I think Tom Davis being at Accrington is not realistic at all. 79 rated in League One. That's absolutely. I don't even know how he's ended up there. He wasn't even on loan. I just don't know. But he's still there, and you can buy him, which is madness. But obviously we'll have to see who we sign in the summer transfer window coming on into the Premier League season. We've got our eye on a few targets going into this next season, as Wes Burns makes a lovely run on the edge of the halfway point and chips the keeper to make it Ipswich Town 2, Stoke City 0. And that is pretty much settled that. I don't believe Stoke City will be able to come back from this. Obviously there is still quite a lot of time, but Stoke City really haven't showed much at all. I mean, that was just that one shot they had. Other than that, we've kept them at bay throughout this whole match. Chris Kamara, I don't know why I said Chris Kamara, as Lucas forces a shot out to the keeper for the last chance of the game. And 2-0, Bowden and Burns getting on the score sheet. And that Stoke City game was quite a boring one, quite a dull one, as we convert Penny now as into the centre mid position, and look, that literally changes instantly. And Finlay Butcher, the striker who we've been harbouring in our striker position. Obviously we had a few international breaks going into this. We had I think Harris got called up, so we decided not to play Lucas. We decided to give Butcher the promotion into the first team season, and we're probably going to be resting Bowden, just to try and keep his overall down a little bit. I want to keep him at 77 and keep him high 70s. I don't want to put him into the 80s just yet. He's quite young, and we do want to go into the Premier League season without an 80 rated player. I mean, I know it's contradictory, but we want to kind of keep it somewhat realistic here. So Finlay Butcher getting an outing, but is he going to get his debut goal? Let's have a look. Obviously Knight gets on the score sheet with a nice little goal into the back of the net, back post. We've got a few other good youth players, should I say, well-rounded youth players. We've got the 65 centre mid, 65 centre back. That is absolutely mad. One's turned 16, so we're probably going to look to play him in the next episode, and pretty much play him for the rest of the season, like we did with Lane. And I think, who else did we do? We sent someone out on loan. I think I can't remember their name exactly, but they're another youth intake, the same as Lane. I think they are pretty much at the same rating now. And we're going to play him when he comes back from loan. I think he's at Dundalk. I don't actually know. Obviously playing in a random Irish league or Scottish league, I don't know. We'll have to look later on. But yeah, we've definitely got 2 youth intakes that will be able to be rotated into this starting 11. We've got 3 actually. We've got Butcher, and then we've got our centre back and centre mid, as Butcher gets his first debut goal against Blackpool of all teams. I mean, Blackpool are really low down in the league, and you know, I wasn't really expecting much of a fight, which is probably why we put on Butcher to start up there and to play his debut goal. I thought, you know, they're not really going to be challenging us that much. Yes, we got 3 goals, and Butcher getting his second, which just goes to show how bad Blackpool actually are. And yeah, we're going to let off our foot a little bit now. Obviously we're 60 minutes in, there are 20 minutes left to go, and yeah, just going to play a risky back pass. I was risky at ball out, and Blackpool are going to win it into the middle of the pitch. And Anderson, who's some reason got the star player attribute. I don't know what rating you have to be to actually get that, but you know, he's got it. He's scored for them. Like I say, we're taking our foot off the pedal a little bit. Obviously we've done the job 4-0. We know we only need this result, well, just to actually, you know, cement the fact that we are going to win the league. So I say we've got 2 games in hand still, and you know, Blackpool getting their second in the 85th minute. So we are still 2 games up, and we are still masses and masses of points ahead of Norwich, which, you know, going into the next game, which will be the Birmingham City, once obviously we've just cleared this ball out, and then it blows the whistle. That is confirmation of the 4-2 results. Butcher getting a brace on his debut. It was quite nicely actually. And here's the confirmation of if we will win the next game, then we'll obviously be champions with this little commentary that they give you. And there's the confirmation against Crystal Palace, have jumped into 2nd place. And yeah, we're sitting pretty in top of the table, coming up against Birmingham City. Now they, I felt, would be a tough game, because obviously they're in a relegation fight. They want to be trying to, you know, push out and not lose this match and go deeper and deeper down into the relegation fight, as Chong, coming from the Man United Academy, really good player for them, and Fagundes, don't know how to say his name, getting on the score sheet nice and early. He is another one of the players that I think he's 5th or 4th in the top goal scorer. He might be 5th, because we've got 2 Ipswich Town players. We've got Wiseman and another Ipswich Town player. I can't remember who. It might be Chaplin of all people. And then Fandanga's coming up on the rear to make the 5th top goal scorer in the English Football League Championship, which is really weird to say, because Birmingham City, they're 3rd bottom at the moment, and they have a player that is quite clearly a very good proven goal scorer, and I'm surprised that he's going to stay there. If he does stay there next season, then good luck to Birmingham in the League One. I'm pretty sure they'll come up and, you know, come straight back up from League One with a good proven Championship goal scorer if he doesn't leave, which Birmingham City probably hoping he doesn't. But Bowden gets a nice ball through from Kamara, and he does what he does best in finishing his chances, bringing it 1-1 just before the halfway point. So all is going to plan now, and there's not really much that could stop us. I mean, even if we drew, I'm pretty sure we might actually win the league. But, you know, we want the win. We want to keep the form up. We want to go into the next game. We want to get there. I mean, Bowden scoring a brace. I mean, that's just proven the point that Birmingham City haven't really had many chances, should we say. And, you know, when we finish ours, it's just going to be ever so hard for Birmingham to come back into this match. I mean, they've got their star player in CDM midfield, and we're able to pass around it. I mean, if all players played like star players, then it would be such a different game. I mean, they just press. I mean, Lane with a massive power. I think that was a power shot of all shots. puts it top bins, and that was just stunning from Knight. I mean, he's been a really good signing from Derby County. So is Christensen, and the two centre mids have been really good signings. Just Kamara's just let the side down a little bit. I know he's a new signing from when he was in League One in real life, but I actually haven't seen much of him. He's just been playing okay, not finishing his chances too much, has got a few assists, but definitely looking to replace the man and probably put him into the second team and put him into the substitutes bench just to give a bit more depth in there. If Lane does come up with the goods in the Premier League, then we'll obviously have to see about that and maybe starting him instead of Kamara. But you know, going into the Prem, I don't really want to start a 57 or 60 rated centre mids, even if we do put in our 65 centre mid, he could still grow into a high 60s, which then yeah, we wouldn't need to get a centre mid. But we could probably sell Kamara if in that retrospect, because we've got Lane and we've got the other centre mid still sitting in the youth development stage, and you know, I think he could come up really nicely, as Kamara does look to probably get replaced. We've got Penny now, he feels like a better player than Kamara, even though Kamara is a higher rated. Penny just has been here longer and knows the team better, and there is confirmation that we are 20 points ahead with 18 games to go for Crystal Palace. I think it's not 18 games, sorry, 6 games and 7 games for us, as yeah, we look to the future into the Premier League by the next few games. We've got Middlesbrough, then we've got Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, Liverpool and Bournemouth, and we've got a few other games after that as well, which we could look to put in the same episode of Swansea, Sheffield United and Hull. As we have won the league, we can just condense them all down into one episode and then put the final one up there as well. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode 26 of my Ipswich Town Road to Glory. Hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy, like, subscribe and comment whatever you want. Bye bye.